In on one of those headline stories now, the testimony of witness F at the Madlanga Commission postponed to the 16th of March. This witness failed to appear this morning, reportedly due to ill health. We were told by the Commission's spokesperson, the Commission's evidence leader, Matthew Chaskelson, that this witness has been hospitalized. Let's bring in Jeremy Vearey. He's a former SAPS General. And Jeremy, you've been a big part of our team at the Madlanga Commission, helping us understand the various moving parts of this commission of inquiry. It's interesting, isn't it, that this witness, perhaps interesting is the wrong word, but this witness has applied and tried on many occasions to block his evidence, to stop the commission from looking into his WhatsApp messages, and now this postponement by a month to the 16th of March.
I think it's crucial that this witness's evidence or version or alternative explanation for the WhatsApps he's been trying to block usage of, and also for his relationship as alleged intermediary between Katiso Molefe and the bag and what is in the bag and General Sibia, that those two facts or alternative versions be placed on record. If this person continues to delay giving that version, I think the investigation team needs to step up efforts with the authentication of the WhatsApps and finding an alternative way of proving what was in the bag and whether the intermediary oral testimony can be verified materially as given by General Smart. If we don't have that, we're sitting with a serious problem. But in the absence of his version, whether he eventually recovers from his sickness or something, it's irrelevant. We must now place emphasis on what work the investigation team must do towards testing the version of General Khumalo and authenticating both the footage and the WhatsApp so that we have an independent form of proof of the materiality of what was alleged about his relationship with Sibia and about what was in the bag and what is in the WhatsApps.
Yeah. The relationship between himself, Matlala and Sibia, whether indeed, as he says, he was the go-between to organize meetings. So that's on the one hand. On the other hand, this witness is also, or the texts contained in his WhatsApp, also drawing a link between witness F, Sibia, and of course another alleged cartel member because of the context of this text message, the late Jonathan Msibi. So Msibi is an interesting character because not only was he a taxi boss, he is late now, but he's also been labeled as the leader of the Big Five cartel. That idea of the Big Five cartel has been really central to the work of the Commission and to the work of the Commission uncovering endemic corruption. This is someone who would have dealt with drug distribution, kidnappings, contract killings even, Jeremy.
You see, my problem, even if there's an organized group who self-identifies as the Big Five cartel, that needs to be proved, firstly. You might have individuals involved in criminality who are acting together as a network to perpetuate a particular form of organized criminality. But we must be careful about not making the names we assign to them the reality in evidence, because it might be just our analytical category or name that we've given to them. But that is that as it may. And so once again, even if there's reference to the existence of a cartel-like structure, which I'm a bit hesitant to use the word, I would more refer to an organized crime group or a syndicate. But because a cartel is something in business that controls something from point of production through to manufacturing, through to distribution, through to, from origin to the finished product. So I'm not quite sure whether it's the correct term to use in this case.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously gotten a different rap sheet now in South Africa.
But let's just stick to it. Nonetheless, it is if it is a criminal enterprise, let us prove that in terms of its definition in the Prevention of Organized Crime Act, and let that be the language in law that governs our discourse. Let us speak of a criminal enterprise. So as a criminal enterprise, the investigation team, it will be greatly assistive if the investigation team that has been appointed by the president can prove in law, according to the provisions of the Prevention of Organized Crime, that the group that has been identified exists as a criminal enterprise. Then it would make the criminal investigation that follows much easier under the Prevention of Organized Crime Act. So those are things I think that need to be teased out here. And then the individuals need to be explained in terms of their role in that criminal enterprise, how they profiteer or where they are in the chain of beneficiation from whatever criminality we're talking about here. So those are some things that the investigation team. The other things we need to prove independently of words is what does impalas mean? You understand at those types. If there's codification of criminal assets or criminal exchange forms, commodities, then we need to prove independently what that means by the investigation team. So the spider still has to be linked together, networked together with evidence and not only names we assign to things that the thing itself doesn't call itself.
Yeah, and it's a web, isn't it? Even just trying to understand it, those of us who are following it quite closely, it really is such an interconnected web. And perhaps that speaks to why this web, this criminal enterprise, as you put it, Jeremy, has been so successful and some will say untouchable almost.
Yes, it does prove, because you know, one thing about looking at a criminal enterprise is you don't have a specific crime scene for laundering or a crime scene for a series of interactions. Because, I mean, most detective work is we want to see the dead body or the hard thing there and the smoking gun, and then from there we build our case. This requires a fundamentally different approach. We need to look at the crime of processually, in other words, in terms of its various nodal linkage, and trace the money flow, see how it supports the functioning of the network and beneficiation, and then tackle it, the whole enterprise like that. And that requires, I hope the investigation team that has been appointed has that type of competency to conduct such criminal enterprise investigations in terms of the prevention of organized crime. Because if they don't, we're never going to see the spider, we're never going to see the criminal enterprise, and we're just going to be dealing with a series of individual nodal events that we need to look at individually instead of tying them up the spider with all its components.
It's becoming clear now, isn't it, Jeremy, just given that, I mean, the Madlanga Commission has exactly a month from today on paper to complete its work. There must surely be an extension in the works.
Yes, but to me the extension is not going to, its value of the extension is not going to lie in having myriads of one version or another version and several witnesses coming to testify on the basis of their opinions or vantage points. What is going to speed up the Commission's work is what is verified independently by the investigation team. Otherwise, we're going to be trapped in versions and counter-versions for the next few months. Then we definitely have to lengthen it because of that, because we'll never get to the material substance that is proven around whatever is alleged. So to me, yeah, everything depends on the work of the investigation team, how well it is resourced, how competent it is in the conduct of criminal enterprise investigation or processual investigations, and whether it has the right people to work with it.
Yeah, and yeah, there's that very real risk of versions and counter versions, isn't there? Jeremy, let me thank you for your time.